Hello, everyone, and welcome to the tavern. It's time for another G-Quuuuuuux review. Yay. Welcome to the apathy phase, everybody. There's things in here that probably should have made me angry, but they didn't. There's things in here that'll make people who are only looking for the member berries happy. Good for them. But for the most part, what we have here is just the declining action. The show itself isn't going to get any better. The characters aren't going to gain any depth. Resolutions will come super fast and without much thought. So keeping all that in mind, let's break down episode 9 of G-Quuuuuuux. When it comes to the story, we actually get a story. I know, I'm surprised too. First we begin cutting to Machu, who is falling through the atmosphere. She ends up crashing and dying. It was a huge, huge shock for me. I didn't think they had the cojones to go and do that, and yet they did. Hold on a second, let me check my notes real quick. Ah, damn it. She lives. She ends up waking up in a big comfy bed. She gets out of it, dances around in her underwear a little bit, is excited to see the ocean, notices that she can't see it from where she's at, talks to some maids. We then go to a flashback where she's in the prison cell on the Not White base, and Zeon Girl is like, hey, I've been ordered to give you your stuff back. And she gives her Haro in like a plastic bag, which is great, and her cell phone. And as a nice little touch, when Machu activates her cell phone, it ends up doing like 10 trillion messages because everyone's freaking out because, she's a wanted criminal now. And then Machu decides to give Zeon Lady some sass when she's going to offer her clothes. And Zeon Lady's like, one, they're my clothes, and you better be a little more respectful. So yeah, Machu is still a brat. That's great. We briefly cut back to the present at the mansion, where Machu is talking to the maids, like, oh, the mistress is expecting you. You should go see her. And Machu's like, what exactly is this place? Turns out it's a brothel. Then we go back to the past, and Chalia Bull is interrogating Machu. What makes this scene actually a little more interesting is he's just reading her thoughts while asking her questions. And Zeon Girl is like having little emotional, Commander, you can't see that, or that's classified kind of things, because I guess she's unaware of what new types can actually do for some reason. And Machu is just basically regurgitating information we've already gotten in the series. Now Chalia Bull knows about the rose and about Shuji's search for the rose. Chalia Bull explains that the Rose of Charon was an alien object that they found. They ended up studying it because they believed it had something to do with new types. Then during the war, it just vanished. We then see Machu back in her jail cell, getting mysterious messages from a mysterious person. The door goes, opens up. She basically makes her way through the white base without getting caught at all because she's just that good. Or bad writing. She gets inside the G-Quuuuuuuux, she activates it, she prepares to leave. The bridge crew is like, wait, shut things down, stop her. And then Chalia Bull's like, nah, it's fine. Because obviously you'd want to follow her because she's going to go to the thing you want. Which the captain seems to pick up on pretty quick. And Machu escapes, thus completing the flashback explaining how she got to Earth. Then in the present, we see that she is being taken to the mistress, which turns out to be Lala Soon. They have a very bland, semi-philosophical discussion that lets the viewer know that Lala has memories or visions of the original timeline and possibly several other variant timelines, because digging on the multiverse. Thanks, bad horror movie. Then the guards come and tell Lala she has a customer, and they make a comment about how they have to give Machu over to the authorities. But it's too bad, because she probably would have made some good money. Which honestly, that could have been a very interesting direction to go, where she is forced into this. She doesn't have to get assaulted or anything. She could freak out, jump out the window, or deck the guy and run. You could have done something fun. We don't get none of that. Instead, the maids light the mansion on fire, and Machu escapes alongside Lala. They get to like the core fighter, I guess. I can only call it a core fighter. I don't know what else to call it. Lala is like, I can't go. I need to stay here for reasons. And Machu is like, what reasons? And she's like, vague and nebulous. And he's like, oh, right. Guy comes up, starts shooting at them. And then the G-Quuuuuuux activates the unit and flies off. And we are done with the mansion. We then cut to Machu waking up in the cockpit, heading over to where the Rose of Sharon is located, because super easy, barely an inconvenience. So she gets to the Rose. She is surprised that it looks like a mobile armor. We then cut to the Zeons. Chalia Bull's like, told you. And they lift up the Rose out of the ocean. Lo and behold, it is the Elamith from the original Gundam series, Lala Soon's mobile armor that she dies inside of. And the episode's over. That's it. So, unlike a lot of the episodes, there's a lot of running in place. This one does go to scene to scene to scene to scene. It's not terrible, but again, like I've said in previous episodes, if this happened earlier, that would have been a lot better. The other thing I want to bring up that I think is very important is the fact that the time at the mansion seems a little odd. And the fact that you see Machu wake up in the core fighter, to me, makes it seem like that whole mansion and talking to Lala was a dream. As if the Lala inside the Elamith is giving her like a vision and trying to show her stuff and explain Lala's issues. Thus, the majority of the episode was a dream or Machu seeing someone else's dream. However, my brother disagrees and says there's no way the staff that made this series is creative enough to come up with that. And you know what? He's probably right. But I still would like to believe that they put some creative effort into this episode and Machu is seeing the dream of the dreamer. At the very least, the story does have some building blocks and answers a few questions while posing some new ones. And I do appreciate that. They put some effort into the story, which is better than most episodes. But you know what still lacks effort? The characters. Our characters are still bland and lifeless, as per usual. Machu is quite the brat. When being shown kindness by the Zeon soldier lady, she just acts like a brat. In the mansion, she seems to just kind of be dumb and unawares, not asking the correct questions and just kind of floating from one place to another, which is fine if my dream theory is correct, but if it's not correct, then this is just a sign of her character being useless and stupid. And everything that she needs to do just falls into place. Like I said in the story discussion, super easy, barely an inconvenience. Then we have Lala Soon. I'm glad she's here? Yeah, we'll go with that. I'm glad she's here. I predicted that she was going to be in the series. I think anyone watching predicted she was going to be in the series. So we finally get to see her. She does a lot of that pseudo-philosophical Evangelion talk. Seems like it's really deep, but if you actually take 10 seconds to think about it, it's not deep at all. It's actually just very shallow. It's like the Sphinx in Mystery Men. It was an awesome superhero parody before superhero movies were really a thing. Highly recommend Mystery Men. Great movie. Anyhow, she ends up just kind of being there and saying vague stuff. I don't like the implication that she had a love triangle with Char and Amuro, when if you watch the original series, she heavily respects Char and she loves Amuro, and is a choice between duty and heart, which she chose duty over heart, by the way. Whatever. They didn't character assassinate her, so I guess I can't complain that much, but she doesn't really add anything to the story either. Then we have Chalia Bull. His entire role in this episode can be summed up as all according to plan. All according to plan. That's it. Though I do appreciate him using the mind-reading ability of the new types. It's something I actually quite love from After War Gundam X, and it's nice to see that being used in another Gundam series. It usually gets forgotten about, and it's super helpful. Beyond that, he doesn't do much. Then we have Zeon Girl. I still don't know her name. I kind of like this character, but why ever tell me what her name is? I think she's a lieutenant. Not certain. She's mostly good here. All her reactions are very much duty and stuff like that, and then the frustration of dealing with these new types and all their weirdness. However, she acts like a complete moron at the very end of the episode when she looks at Chalia Bull and she's like, "You planned this the whole time." And I'm like, "Yes, moron! Where have you been the whole episode?" Obviously he did. Once he got the information he needed out of Machu, he was going to let her go so that she would lead him to where he needs to go, which is exactly what she did. Because A, Machu's a moron, and B, the writers can't come up with anything better than that. But the fact that she is shown to be this fairly introspective, relatively intelligent woman, and then now she's just a moron, the only reason I can think that she behaved this way is because the writers think the audience is stupid. So you need someone to point out, "Oh my gosh, Chalia Bull, Yeah, this whole time. It's like, yes, idiot, this whole time. Yeah, it was pretty obvious that's what he was going to do. I think anyone with half a brain cell could tell that. Characters are not good. They're not going to be good. They're not getting a character arc. They'll get some sort of personality change, I'm sure, like in the last episode, to be like, I learned something on my adventure. No, you didn't. This is crap characters written by crap writers. And what do I expect from the geniuses behind Evangelion and Fooly Cooly? Neither of which have fully fleshed out characters. Well, except Shinji. He actually has a character arc, and it's quite interesting and tragic, but we're getting sidetracked. Point is, character's bad. Let's move on. The aesthetics are about average for the series. When it comes to audio, there's nothing new or special to talk about. No interesting music, no interesting sound effects. Though it feels like they could have used a little more Foley and typed screams and stuff like that when the mansion's on fire. But again, if my dream theory is correct, that's acceptable. But yeah, that's kind of a nitpick, really. When it comes to the visuals, it's fine. Some kind of cool stuff in there, like how the hall in the mansion looks endless. Again, my dream theory. The way the ocean looked was nice. In terms of mechanical designs, the core fighter type thing is fine. It's acceptable. It's a little jet thing. And the Elemeth looks like the Elemeth. So, cool. And that's really about it. Aesthetically, this episode is fine. I mean, it doesn't do anything new. It doesn't do anything bad. Our water motif, I guess, is still kind of there. So, you know, that. Lala talks about birds, because Lala's the bird. Beyond that, I got nothing. I don't know what to say. When they don't do anything new or anything special or nothing I can rant or discuss, then that's where we're at. So that's where we're at. Which means it's time for our final verdict. When it comes down to it, I'm just getting bored of this show. It isn't doing anything special or interesting. There's no characters I really connect to. It's just kind of bad. Worse yet, the member berries are making my stomach a little sick. I get the feeling that there'll be some people online who will be like, oh my god, the Elemeth! Oh my god, Lala! But really, if that's all you got to hang on to, just go watch the original. There's no reason to go through this. There are times where the references could have some value, but in this show, more and more, the references are just like, oh my god, remember the thing? And I'm like, yeah, I remember the thing. And when you're doing an alternate timeline story, while it is nice to see how certain characters would be different in this new timeline, it would be much better if we actually moved forward and explained things and showed things. Gave me something new, not continuously reference the old thing. I've seen the old thing. The old thing is significantly better than this. I highly recommend Classic or the movie editions, either way. It's like, hey, remember the old stuff? And I'm like, if you wanted to do that, just give me a one-year war adventure. That would have been perfectly easy to do. All that being said, today's episode was mostly bland and not particularly enjoyable. And that's why my final verdict for episode 9 is 1.5 out of 5. While we do have the story moving, it's hard to care about the story when it seems like the writers don't care about the story. Our characters are shallow husks of nothing that add nothing to the story. And the pseudo-philosophical stuff coming out of Lala or in the other episodes of Shuji doesn't add anything to the show. The audio is nice, the video is fine, but it's nothing we haven't seen before. We have nothing. We got 3 episodes left, and this is what we have. The Elemeth, member berries. I'm sure Char will show up soon, and probably a few other characters from Classic will just make an appearance because, hey, you remember this such and such? And I go, I do. But I should just be watching the Classic, not this. I'm sorry, I'm just interrupting my review real quick. It just started raining out of nowhere. I've been complaining about the heat for over a week, and now it's raining. Weather is weird. Overall, I did not really like this episode. I'm wondering if you liked it. Are you hanging on? Are you just enjoying the member berries? Whether you loved it or you hated it, I'm just glad you watched my video. So please like and subscribe, share it. YouTube says it helps the algorithms or something, I don't know. I'm just glad I get to do Gundam content again, and hopefully I'll be able to do a lot more very soon. Until next time, thank you for watching, and remember, I'll see you at the tavern.